Hello everyone, this is Miss Siddiqui here. In this video, we are going to talk about how to write introductions for your personal narrative essay. Let's get started. So first of all, don't begin your narrative at the beginning. Save that for the core of your essay. So in this video, we are going to talk about creating engaging introductions that will lure your reader into the story that you are going to tell to make your statement of belief. Engaging introductions are so crucial to any kind of effective writing, not just personal narrative essays. Think of it this way. It's like you're trying to sell what you have to say in about 15 seconds or 50 words. You have to convince your reader that you're an important, funny, interesting, original thinker and worth listening to for the next 3 minutes. How then do you do it? How do you begin your essay that wins friends, influences nations, and establishes your ideas as genius? Well, let's talk about some strategies. Well, first, let's start with what to avoid. Never begin an essay with sentences like, my topic is, or today I'm going to talk about, or my name is, and I'm here to tell you about. You don't want to tell, you want to show the story. Instead, you should begin with a hook to lure your reader. A hook is basically a creative technique to start off your introductory paragraph. So in this video, I'm going to give you some examples of types of hooks and examples of those hooks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend that my This I Believe essay starts off with an anecdote about a traumatic trip to the dentist and consider multiple ways I can start my introduction. So a very common way to hook the reader is to talk about unusual things. So describe an unusual or interesting or funny or painful or awkward fact, person, place, or thing. So for instance, I might start with the sentence, the human tooth is the last thing left after the rest of the body has settled into dust and decay. So that would be kind of an interesting thing to think about, and you might wonder, well, maybe this is going to be about teeth, or maybe, I don't know, it kind of leaves you sort of intrigued, that sentence, or maybe a little creeped out, but it's unusual, it's interesting, it's engaging. So that's one example, unusual things. Another thing that you can do is establish a conversation. Try to have a conversation with your reader like you're talking to them. Ask them a rhetorical question. Use colloquial language. So for instance, I might say, have you ever had a day when nothing seemed to go right? When people kept saying, oh, don't worry, but you knew deep down inside that worrying was exactly what you needed to be doing? That is exactly how I felt the morning before I headed to the dentist's office. So that creates a relatable experience, and I'm also posing questions to my readers so they feel like I'm interested in their opinion when truly I'm just interested in sharing my own opinion. In addition to that, you can also do a hook called telling a seemingly unrelated story, and that is basically an anecdote, a small story, that will leave your reader curious about how this story might connect to your main narrative. So for instance, I could say, I remember a clear September day when my aunt came to visit, bringing those little maple sugar leaf candies you only get up in New England. Don't eat too many or your teeth will rot. I can remember her jokingly saying to me, how I wish now that I had listened to her wise words. So that little story about my aunt might make my reader think about, well, is she going to talk about her teeth rotting? Why is she thinking of this small, seemingly insignificant story? How does this connect to the main narrative? So that's telling a seemingly unrelated story. Another type of hook you can use is to create a metaphor. So that's introducing your topic or subject for your essay and comparing it to something else. Try to pick something relatable that would reach a wide audience. You'd say going to the dentist is like, and then you would fill in the blank for something that is common and relatable. You can also establish a juxtaposition. Write about an intriguing contrast you observe that gets your reader thinking from a new perspective. Juxtaposition means contrast. So I could say, going to the dentist is a miserable experience. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I'm not quite sure how they get you to come back every 6 months, but somehow I'm always back in that chair. Maybe it's those friendly postcards they send to remind you of your appointment, or that wonderful basket of cheap toys, stale candy, and temporary tattoos you get at the end. But whatever it is, I know they trick me, and I know it works every time. So this creates a contrast between this miserable experience and then this fun experience, and you're sort of pointing out this contrast in the experience itself of, oh, it's so exciting to get a toy, but boy, sure is it miserable to get a checkup at the dentist. You can start by telling a joke. Starting with humor can be a very good place to start. Humor is universal, but be careful with this one. You want to make sure your joke is tasteful and will be well received. So try it out on a few people and also make sure it connects to the content of your narrative. So for instance, I could say, after my last trip to the dentist, I finally understand the meaning of the old expression, it's like pulling teeth. You could also create drama. Drama excites people. So, for instance, you should use hyperbole or exaggeration to create drama and intensify the scene for your reader. Basically, in creating drama, you should pique their interest, and there are very different avenues to creating drama. This allows for some creativity on your part. So, for instance, I could say, "You would not believe what happened to me. Picture yourself in an uncomfortable chair with a bright light shining directly in your eyes. No, it's not a CIA inquisition, it's your dentist office." So immediately I'm speaking in extremes, and I'm kind of attacking the idea of a dentist office, so I'm creating drama by starting with that opening. So that's a hook you could use. You could also establish irony, so make an ironic or clever statement that makes your reader go, huh, interesting, and motivates them to keep reading. So for instance, I could say, I went to the dentist yesterday. It takes 26 muscles to smile and 62 muscles to frown. My face was certainly getting a workout that day. So that indicates to your reader that, well, maybe that was kind of a tough situation for her if she was frowning and working out 62 muscles. And it also creates a situation of irony because the dentist treats your teeth and you should be smiling at the dentist so they can treat your teeth, but instead you're frowning. So I'm establishing irony to attract my reader's attention. You could also make an outlandish statement. Readers love when you start with outlandish statements. It attracts their attention and they want to see you develop and defend it. So I could start with something like, never ever eat candy again. I'm telling you, from this day forward, just forget about anything with a sugar content greater than a fresh piece of fruit. That would be an extreme statement about sugar. So, introductory hooks. You should use them. They are dentist recommended and Miss Siddiqui approved. Try it yourself in your This I Believe essay. Thanks for watching.